My name is Ray Gumpert. I'm the sommelier here at Emerils Restaurant, and I've been with the Emerils group for about 17 years. I'm from Metairie, about 15 minutes away from here, not New Orleans proper. Well, when I was at NOLA, I was a busser for about 8 months, I think, which that was my first restaurant. So, you know, it definitely, it was a challenge in a way because it was my first experience with this business. But I think it was also a good thing because it taught me the right way to do things, or the Emeril way to do things. And I didn't really have other habits from other places. Not necessarily good or not necessarily bad, but I've been a head sommelier in one restaurant or another for about 12 years. I was an assistant sommelier for about 3 years before that. Yeah, it's very intimidating, and you know, it can get more and more intimidating the more that you learn. The first book I read cover to cover is Wine for Dummies, you know, so I tell people that, you know, start humbly, start simple. And then also I think something that really helped me out was not necessarily cramming so much information at one time, but just consistently learning. Learning one wine, one day, having it backwards and forwards, being able to taste that wine. And then, you know, still to this day, I can remember wines I had, you know, 10 years ago that were the focus of that one day, as opposed to trying to learn everything in, you know, a short time. What makes this restaurant unique is that it completely set a trend, you know, in the city of New Orleans, in the country, you know, maybe even the world, because this is Emeril's flagship restaurant. He came into a neighborhood that was really not doing well at all. Started this restaurant in a place and at a time where people thought he was crazy because of that. And if you walk around this neighborhood now, there's condos that sell for $250,000. There's restaurants on every other corner. It's a happening, lively, safe, fun spot where people really want to be. And that all started with Emeril being here. You know, a dining experience versus eating is different in the sense that dining starts once I get my first glass of wine, to be quite honest with you. And I think that when people sit and, you know, they see how beautiful the restaurant is, they get a warm welcome and a warm greet, all those things are awesome. But the quicker and more efficiently we can get their perfect glass of wine to them to start their meal, I think the better we're doing, you know. That also being said, we follow all the quartermaster sommelier guidelines as far as how to open everything from champagne all the way to sauternes and everything in between, how to properly decant wines, how to open champagne properly. You know, I could go on and on about steps of service, details of service, that if you look at each individual one, may seem small, but when you put them all together and you can execute it efficiently, it becomes pretty special. The cellar here is, you know, it's a difficult question to answer because we don't have necessarily one cellar. We have wine storage facilities all over the restaurant, including in a warehouse that we have across the street, which also helps me keep my figure. I like to tell people that. But that cellar is where a lot of the prizes are, where a lot of the special wines are, where there's wines that may need to just be left in the cold and in the dark where they like to be for an extended period of time. And usually they're collectible items, they're items that get better with age, and they're items that need to be locked up in something that strongly does resemble a vault if you look at it. Then there's the wines that are more everyday wines, more wines that we pull frequently, that are located actually on the property. We have different storage units around the restaurant that are at different temperatures depending on which product is holding. What keeps me with the Emeril Group is, you know, this business can be challenging. It really can. It's not the easiest business to work in, I don't think. But I think I stay with this group because I really do feel like we're pretty good at what we do. You know, there's not a lot of people who do it on the level that we do. And, you know, if you're going to be in a business that's a challenge, I like to say that I'm in one of the best, if not the best.